This course is called Intro to Indonesian. It covers just the basics of how you're going to learn Indonesian. You're not going to learn off of a few little phrases and a few videos and things like that. You really have to study it. But that's not so easy to do in most cities. Most cities you will not find an Indonesian teacher. You won't find one at the university, at the high school. It's just not offered. There aren't enough people teaching it. So what do you do if you need to learn? What I've found is that you need to find a good book. Now that's not just something you just go out and buy the book that says it's, teaching you Indonesian. Because if you go to your local bookstore, the chance that you're going to find a good one isn't high. What I'd advise doing would be getting on the internet and searching, going to places like Amazon, and read the reviews. It's extremely important to read the reviews of as many as you can to get a good idea of who's like you and who's going to give you an accurate picture of what the book is like. You don't want a complex grammar book to start with, or you're going to get discouraged. And if, say, you have a deadline coming up when you need to be able to speak to someone, if you've learned the grammar and you can only, you can write it but you can't speak it, or maybe you only know parts of the language, you're going to be at a loss. I'd advise to start with a book like a Teach Yourself Indonesian Complete Course audio pack. You don't have to spend very much money. This book is about $20, and if you buy it without the audio, it's a lot less. Indonesian's pretty easy to understand, and the pronunciation is pretty simple. Even without the audio, you can sound out most of the words. If you mispronunciate things when you travel, just be sure to introduce yourself and let people know that you're still learning so that they can help you. In my travels, I've found that people are very friendly and very much willing to help you learn. You teach them a little bit of English and you'll have a smile on their face pretty quick. After you've picked a book, you might want one or two just so you can play off if you realize you get halfway through the book and you don't really like the one that you've chosen. It's good to have a couple of options. Maybe certain sections are better than others. Then what you need to do is you also need to have a dictionary. A good dictionary is crucial in your studies, so you can look up those words that maybe that book didn't give you, they just assumed that you knew. It's extremely common for language books not to describe every word that they use. So when you start writing out essays and start practicing your writing skills, you're going to realize that there are a lot of words you just don't know. You need that verb to run, or you need the verb to pick up the glass. You just don't know what to do. A great dictionary, again, read the reviews. Not all dictionaries are the same. The last thing that I would advise that's crucial in your studies is a good notepad. As you go along, if you find that cheat sheets are good for you, make them. Making a good little notepad or a good little dictionary of your own that lists nothing but you have a page for animals, you have a page for food, you have a page for action verbs, you have a page for family members. Make sheets of just the words that you need, that you use the most. Maybe you're going on a trip and you're going to be on a certain island for a certain amount of time and you have something you need to do for work. List it all out there, because having a sheet that you can reference quickly will make your learning so much easier. When you start getting into the more difficult sections of your courses, you'll be ready right then and there to look up and I remember all my verbs, they're on this page, all the ones that I keep forgetting. When you write through, I advise that you do each lesson multiple times. Practice, repeat yourself. The more repetition that you do while studying, the better you will do overall. If you can't remember that word for the life of you, practice it 3 times a day till that's the only word you can remember. The more you practice, the better. If you need to watch Indonesian TV, I'd advise getting on YouTube and looking up Indonesian videos. If you can get a couple of children's books, translate them and practice, practice, practice. By the end of it, you'll know that you're doing well when you're driving your friends crazy, because all they see you do is study Indonesian. And when you start responding and you start thinking, and the first thing you think when someone says, "How are you?" is "Apa kabar?" you know you've done it. Good luck. I hope you do well.